Sometimes life's difficulties and burdens weigh so heavily on a woman that the pallor on her face, her reluctance to speak, and all the pent-up emotions inside her give her away. The woman who constantly supports others, who struggles and strives for them, unfortunately finds it difficult to muster this strength when it comes to herself. Because what we experience affects not only our skin, but also causes the emotional scars we have neglected for years to grow. But the truth is, transformation begins not when a woman neglects herself, but when she returns to her true self. Beauty is precisely the first sign of this transformation. As we all know, the biggest reason a woman looks old is not the traces left by the years, but because she has neglected her soul for years. But as a mature woman, when you say, "Enough is enough," you initiate that great change from the root. Clarity in your behavior, peace in your tone of voice, and even a noticeable improvement in your posture emerge. In this video, I will talk about 12 concrete and easy-to-apply solutions that will definitely give you this power. But before we start the video, I have a small request. Write, "I am taking back my power," in the comments. By writing this, you will firmly seal the first step of your transformation here and inspire others to do the same. If you like, let's start our conversation with the first point. 1. Use omega-3. It instantly supports skin plumpness. Many of us view taking omega-3 as a supplement, as if it were merely a support. The reality is quite different. Especially after a certain age, the underlying tissues that give women that sweet and soft expression on their faces combine with the fatty acids contained in omega-3 to create a regular structure. Over time, our skin thins and wears away, losing its elasticity. Just as the wind constantly blows and wears away a stone, unfortunately, our skin thins and begins to reflect light more harshly on our faces. Omega-3 steps in right here, working like a master builder to renew and plump up our skin surface. It makes our cell membranes stronger and increases their capacity to retain water. Therefore, as a woman ages, she can maintain her beauty, not only with temporary solutions like makeup, but also with this method that nourishes our internal structure. We should also know that we should not think of the fullness of our skin as merely an aesthetic issue. It is the greatest visible representation of our state of mind. Omega-3 also regulates the communication network between nerves, reducing the emotional ups and downs we experience and preventing the harsh lines that negative factors such as daily stress can create on our facial features. This allows a woman to be calmer, more relaxed, and above all, more attractive. Although we may think of beauty as just an image on our face, it is actually the sum of everything, from our behavior to the softness of our voice, even the way we look, that fully expresses beauty. Looking at it from this perspective, omega-3 is a perfect biochemical messenger that acts as a bridge between a woman's inner world and her outer appearance. While providing the fatty acids our body needs, it also helps calm our spirit. I can comfortably say that a woman who regularly consumes omega-3 will notice her face begin to glow visibly, and this glow will make you look much more natural and beautiful than any makeup could achieve. Because the internal fat balance of the cells is re-established, this radiance becomes a real glow and naturally begins to make your face look younger. Strangely enough, sometimes taking a tiny supplement can be like a chemical counterpart to a woman's promise to herself. This is called omega-3. By the way, I feel like this is at least the second or maybe third video you've watched on my channel, and it really upsets me that you're still not subscribed, because seeing you here, moving forward together on this journey, is very valuable to me. If you subscribe, you'll be supporting me in the strongest way possible, and we won't lose touch with each other. 2. Don't speak negatively. Your energy determines your youth. At first glance, trying not to speak negatively may seem like simply changing a few words or sentences and saying more positive things instead. But the truth is, stopping negative talk means building an invisible structure that reshapes a woman's face. Because every negative sentence pattern we use during the day sinks into the micro-tensions within our facial muscles. We frown, clench our jaws, and our lips turn downwards. All of this happens involuntarily, and over time, in a scenario where this happens frequently, permanent marks are inevitable. However, if we can change this situation, that is, if we can live with more positive sentences, the fate of our face will automatically change. It's like purifying the water in a murky lake. As the energy of our words becomes more beautiful, the harshness in our facial features begins to dissolve. No matter how accustomed we are to negative speech, once we decide to stop and start practicing this, the youthful reflexes on our face begin to reawaken. For this reason, let us never forget that there is definitely a strong connection between energy and youth. If we can make practicing this a habit, it will have a greater impact on how we age, because our face shows aging in two different ways, through energetic expression and through biological expression. Even if a woman who says she no longer speaks negatively develops some wrinkles over time, her expression will show clarity, serenity, and peace. The truth is that this expression is even more valuable than youth. When someone sees you, they will describe your face as soft, radiant, or peaceful. However, the secret lies in the words you say and the tone of your voice when you say them. In other words, language determines energy, and energy determines the fate of our entire face. Ultimately, if we can stop speaking negatively, we will have taken one of the most important steps towards preserving our beauty and youth. In this way, we will not only transform our language, but also positively transform our entire face, our posture, and our relationships with those around us. Let us not forget that youth is no longer measured by age, but by our energy. And this energy begins first and foremost with our words. 3. Protect your skin from the sun. One of the biggest causes of aging is the sun. Although we all know how important it is to protect our skin from the sun, unfortunately, this is one of the things we neglect the most. Yet, it is one of the most fundamental elements of beauty. The sun's rays affect the deep tissues of our skin over many years without us even noticing. UV rays gradually erode the collagen layer beneath our skin, like slowly crumbling sandstone. First a slight dullness, then fine lines, and eventually sagging that disrupts the natural integrity of the face begins to appear. The sun is the external factor that most rapidly consumes the beauty of a mature woman. However, it is also the easiest enemy to control. For this reason, sun protection is not just about using a product, it is a state of mind that directs the destiny of beauty with one's own will. Moreover, protecting oneself from the sun is not merely an aesthetic choice, it is a biological necessity. This is because UV rays cause free radicals to multiply in skin cells, leading to premature breakage of youth fibers. All scientific research tells us that 80% of the signs of aging are sun-induced. In other words, most of the aging process is not the work of time, but of light. When a woman makes sun protection a habit, she actually controls the speed of aging. She preserves the natural structure of her face, her youthfulness, and the moisture balance under her skin. This is not stopping time. It is rewriting an agreement made with time. Sun protection also preserves the symmetry of the face. Although it may not be noticeable in daily life, light constantly hitting the face from the same angle can cause one side to age more quickly than the other. The key point that conscious women like you, who truly want to preserve their beauty, need to know is this. Protecting yourself from the sun is not just for today's radiance. It is a step taken for the aesthetic legacy you will carry throughout your life. Women who adopt this habit take time not against them, but alongside them. They shape the future of their face with intelligence, care, and awareness. If you explore the other points discussed in this video, you will see and feel much more clearly how you can guide your beauty not only today, but for years to come. So the rest will really add a lot to you. 4. Define your own style. Consistency and stability make you memorable. First, I must say that defining your own style icon is not a superficial choice about appearance. It is a profound decision-making process that reveals a person's identity, energy, and outlook on life. Because as a woman ages, the meaning behind every piece she wears, every color she chooses, and every accessory she uses becomes more pronounced. Youth is often a time of searching, but maturity brings with it the power of choice. Defining a style icon is an expression of this power of choice. This icon can sometimes be a hairstyle, sometimes a color, or sometimes a small detail that carries the same elegance in every setting, but whatever it is a personal signature that reminds a woman of the bond she has with herself. Consistency is what keeps a woman's energy constant, because people want to know what makes them feel good, and a familiar signature creates a sense of trust in the other person. The woman who defines her style icon establishes this trust through an aesthetic language. She leaves an impression that makes people say, "Yes, that's her," every time they see her. This mark does not come solely from outward appearance. It is also formed by the way a person carries themselves in the world, the rhythm of their steps, the clarity of their posture. Thus, a woman maintains her own steady line within the ever-changing crowd. This steadiness makes her stronger, more memorable, and naturally more attractive. Besides, remember that the power of a style icon lies in a woman's loyalty to herself. Because style is not just about how you look, it's about how you feel. When a woman chooses her icon, she actually makes a promise to herself. I embrace this signature that defines me, and I am proud to carry it. This attitude reflects in the woman's overall energy. Her confidence becomes clearer, her movements more decisive, her expressions more measured. People are naturally drawn to women who know who they are, because these women's energy is not scattered, it is focused. Ultimately, defining one's own style icon means much more than an aesthetic choice. It is an outward expression of the value a woman places on herself. Consistency is the most powerful tool that makes a person recognizable in the chaos of the modern world and makes their elegance visible. When a woman finds her icon, she doesn't just look more stylish, she becomes more whole, more balanced, and more memorable. Because beauty is ultimately an elegance that comes from staying true to one's own line. And this elegance is a woman's most valuable legacy, one that grows stronger as she ages. 5. Don't let your skincare routine slip. Consistency is the secret to youth. First, I want to say this. Maintaining a skincare routine is a journey that many women initially find easy, but later realize requires discipline. Because the skin, like a regularly watered garden, requires consistency. If you care for it one day and neglect it the next, it loses its balance. Its ability to retain moisture decreases, dullness increases, and the natural texture of the face begins to deteriorate. However, skin thrives on consistency. Receiving the same routine of care every day regulates the cell renewal cycle and strengthens the face's defense against the effects of time. Maintaining a consistent skincare routine for mature women is not only about beauty, it is also necessary to consciously manage the relationship they have built over time, because time is the harshest teacher when it comes to inconsistency. Our consistency in applying this substance nourishes our face's biological memory. The skin remembers the kindness shown to it. Skin that is regularly moisturized becomes more elastic. A face that is regularly cleansed reflects light more evenly, and a barrier that is regularly protected reddens less and tires later. This memory is one of the most important factors determining the speed of aging. Because aging is not just about increasing age, it is also about cells slowing down and their ability to renew themselves weakening. Regular care sends the message to cells to keep working. This message slows down the deepening of wrinkles, delays the sagging of facial contours, and increases the skin's resistance. Youth is preserved this way, not with great miracles, but with the uninterrupted continuity of small steps. Maintaining routine also represents a mental strength, because when a woman establishes her own care rhythm, she becomes more conscious of other irregularities in her life. Sleep, nutrition, emotional control, all are indirect effects of this rhythm. Discipline in skincare is a kind of self-respect practice. It is the silent form of the sentence, "I am worth it." When a mature woman carefully cleanses her face every evening and moisturizes her skin every morning, she is not just performing an aesthetic procedure, she is protecting her own space. This space also gathers the woman's spirit, because a woman who takes care of herself feels stronger, more organized, more determined, more in control of her own life. Unfortunately, many women realize their mistakes in their youth in later years, the traces left by years of irregular care. These traces are sometimes dryness lines, sometimes tone unevenness, and sometimes sensitivity caused by a weakened skin barrier. However, even the signs of aging appear more elegant in women who practice regular care. Lines become finer, skin remains plumper, and the overall texture of the face is more cohesive. This is the aesthetic effect of regularity. Even the lines brought on by time appear more meaningful when they are part of a face that has been cared for. This is because regular care is one of the most important factors in making aging a manageable process rather than viewing it as an enemy. 6. Try to use a soft tone of voice. Mature feminine charm requires it. Developing a soft tone of voice may seem like merely changing the way one speaks when viewed from the outside, but it is actually a powerful internal transformation that rebuilds the invisible space a woman creates around herself. A woman's voice speaks before her facial features. It conveys her energy, her past, her patience, and the internal dialogue she has with herself. It is known that a harsh tone makes the face appear sharper, more tired, and more tense, whereas a soft tone of voice refracts light differently, relaxes the facial muscles, and makes the beauty hidden beneath the expression more apparent. When a mature woman adopts this tone, she begins to speak with wisdom and balance rather than with the restlessness of youth. This makes her attractive, independent of her words. What we call the charm of a mature woman often arises not from an image, but from an atmosphere, an energy. A soft tone of voice is the most powerful element of this atmosphere. This tone sends the message to the other person that I am balanced, I am not rushing myself, I am centered. This creates a natural attraction in people because peaceful energy is what is most sought after mentally. When a woman softens her voice, it's not just the tone that changes. The emotional experience of spending time with her changes too. People describe such women as soothing, attractive, strong yet gentle. This is not a charm that can be achieved through outward appearance. It is a radiance of deep maturity. Furthermore, speaking softly creates a new level of power in a woman's social relationships. The harshness of our words often stems from defense mechanisms. However, a mature woman knows how to use the weight of grace rather than the power of defense. Thanks to this tone, conflicts soften, communication flows more smoothly, and the woman influences the person opposite her without dominating them. This soft power is an aura that most men and women are drawn to without even realizing it, because it is not oppressive, it is not aggressive, but its effect is profound. A soft tone of voice is power at a low volume, hidden but unshakable. 7. Don't forget to pull your shoulders back during the day. Attractiveness begins with posture. Consciously pulling our shoulders back throughout the day may seem like a simple physical correction, but it is actually a silent act of power that lifts a woman's entire energy, aligning her spirit and body in the same direction. Because shoulders are not just part of the skeleton, they carry the burden of emotions, bear the traces of fatigue, and are the first to sense the weight of life. When shoulders slump, not only posture but also self-confidence declines. The facial expression appears more tired, the body more closed off, and the aura weaker. Yet when shoulders are pulled back, all these meanings instantly reverse. The chest opens, breathing deepens, the posture lengthens, and the woman transitions from a collapsed stance to one that opens up to the world. This small movement is the beginning of a transformation of the entire appearance. Never forget that posture is like a woman's silent business card. Before words, posture says, "I am here." Before tone of voice, posture is understood. Before the clothes you wear, it is your posture that is noticed. When you pull your shoulders back, it's not just an aesthetic change. Your body language instantly creates a more noble, stronger, more mature impression. Because opening up your body shows that your mind is also open. A closed posture represents hiding, while an open posture represents connecting with the world. Therefore, every time you pull your shoulders back, you unconsciously send the message, "I am here," to your surroundings. As a woman ages, her posture becomes one of the greatest determinants of her beauty. This element, as effective as lines, clothing, and makeup, is the foundation of mature charm. Furthermore, the effect of posture on youthfulness cannot be underestimated. When the shoulders slump, the neck breaks, the jawline weakens, facial expressions droop, and the effects of aging become more pronounced. However, when the shoulders are pulled back, the neck lengthens, the jawline firms up, and the gravitational pull on the face lessens. A woman instantly appears straighter, more energetic, and younger. This is not merely an optical illusion. The correct alignment of the shoulders helps the face achieve a more lifted appearance by regulating the work of the muscles and fascia tissue. Thus, pulling the shoulders back creates a natural, lifting effect. The body accomplishes with its own intelligence what no product can achieve. In summary, pulling your shoulders back throughout the day is not just a physical correction. It is a holistic habit that brings together beauty, youth, energy, and charm. Time is the factor that wears down posture the fastest, but a woman who maintains her posture leaves her own aesthetic mark against time. Because attractiveness begins with posture. When posture improves, the face glows, energy rises, and the woman realigns with the power she carries within. This simple habit is the most invisible yet most effective secret in a mature woman's beauty strategy. 8. Be sure to meditate daily. Don't overlook the benefits of calmness. Meditating daily is not an escape in our modern world. It is the most powerful way to manage the invisible noise that the mind constantly produces. Because the more mature a woman becomes, the more easily the weight of her mind is reflected on her face. When thoughts accelerate, the lines between the eyebrows become more pronounced, the jawbone tightens, the facial muscles stiffen, and clarity in expression gives way to fatigue. Meditation, however, is an internal pause where the mind resets its own pace. This pause slowly releases the tension that has settled beneath the face. Regular meditation even affects the architecture of the face, because calmness gradually restores the natural form of the facial muscles. That is why true beauty begins with inner silence rather than products applied externally. I want you to know that meditation's effect on the skin is also biologically powerful. With each silent sitting, stress hormones decrease in the body, the parasympathetic system kicks in, and blood circulation becomes more balanced. This accelerates renewal in the lower layers of the face. The skin receives more oxygen, gains a slight warmth, and regains its natural radiance. That youthful glow that many women refer to as radiance is actually the result of this biochemical regulation. Meditation is a power that is invisible from the outside but enhances the skin from within. Over time, the harshness disappears from the faces of women who meditate regularly. It is replaced by a softer, more inviting expression. This expression is the most powerful charm of a mature woman. A meditation routine gives a woman not only today's beauty, but also the face of tomorrow. Because one of the biggest factors determining aging is the tension carried by the facial muscles over the years. Meditation softens the aging process by reducing this tension. Lines become finer, tone appears more even, and the face generally carries a more rested expression. To say that women who meditate don't age would, of course, be an exaggeration, but even as their faces age, they retain elegance. This elegance transforms aging itself into an aesthetic story. This is the true gift of meditation. It turns the lines on the face into a story and the expression into wisdom. Coming to the most important part, understanding the effects of meditation requires not just a few days, but a little patience and consistency. The transformation in the face and energy becomes much clearer when combined with other habits. If you watch the items in the rest of this video, you will realize how this invisible bridge between inner peace and outer beauty can be built stronger, because meditation alone is a start, but the habits that follow complete the picture. 9. Always start your day with gratitude. As your spirit beautifies, your face glows. Starting the day with gratitude is an art of inner guidance that many people underestimate but has profound effects. Because in the morning, when the mind is still waking up, the mood is also soft. This softness is the first agreement made with the mind about how the day will unfold. Gratitude is like a light that illuminates the dark corners of the mind. It shifts the focus from lack to abundance, and this shift lifts all energy upward. When a woman starts the day complaining, her face becomes heavy because thoughts resonate in the body. However, the face of a woman who starts the day with gratitude softens in the first few hours. The tension under her eyes diminishes and her gaze becomes clearer. Therefore, as the spirit beautifies, the face shining is not just a metaphor, it is a biological reality. The effect of gratitude on the skin should not be underestimated. This is because the body responds chemically to a person's thoughts. When in a state of gratitude, the parasympathetic system is activated, stress hormones decrease, and blood flow becomes more balanced. This accelerates renewal in the lower layers of the skin and creates a natural glow. The days when many women say, "My face looks different this morning," are actually days that begin with gratitude. Because the inner vibration carries over to the surface of the face. The lines between the eyebrows soften, the downturn at the corners of the lips lightens, and the overall expression of the face takes on a warmer tone. Gratitude works not like a deep care cream, but like an inner glow. Starting the day with gratitude also transforms aging into an aesthetic process, because the most visible effect of aging is the emotional accumulation carried by the face. When a woman carries complaints and negative thoughts for years, this burden turns into permanent marks on the face's architecture. Gratitude lightens this burden. Facial muscles relax, expressions soften, and even the lines left by aging appear more elegant. Gratitude opens the door to inner youth, because youth comes not only from the skin, but from the light carried by the soul. This radiance is the most valuable part of a mature woman's beauty. Ultimately, starting the day with gratitude is a powerful habit that nourishes both the soul and the face at the same time. As a woman continues this practice, a noticeable serenity appears on her face, a calmness in her gaze, and a clarity in her energy. This clarity gradually transforms into beauty, because the way the skin carries light follows the light of the soul. Gratitude is a quiet but effective beauty strategy. It begins with the first sentence of the day and manifests itself in the expression the face carries throughout the day. 10. Always start your day with water. It immediately ignites your metabolism. Yes, starting the day with water is a powerful beginning that most of us overlook, but it determines the body's most fundamental awakening rhythm. The metabolism, which slows down during the night, kicks back into gear with the first sip in the morning. This simple action sends a signal to all the systems in the body to wake up. Water is not just a liquid that quenches thirst. When drunk in the morning, it facilitates the transport of oxygen to the cells, gives the organs a working order, and speeds up circulation in the deep layers of the face. Thus, even in the early hours, the complexion brightens, the dullness around the eyes diminishes, and the woman's energy radiates more clearly. Water is like an invisible cosmetic product in the morning. However, its power is much deeper. In addition, the effect of water consumed in the morning on metabolism is biologically impressive. The digestive system, which slows down during sleep, is reactivated by the water taken in the morning. This reactivation both increases energy production and regulates the body's heat balance. Therefore, igniting the metabolism is not a metaphor, but a real physiological process. As blood flow accelerates, more oxygen is transported to the skin surface, cells renew faster, and the natural vitality of the face increases. Many women ask, "Why do I look brighter when I drink water in the morning?" The answer is simple. Water is the biological bridge between night and day, and the light that passes through this bridge is directly reflected in the face's expression. Let's not forget that this habit also directly affects our mood, because water is not only a physiological regulator, but also an energetic one. The clarity of water taken in the morning works in parallel with the clarity of the mind. As the body works cleanly, the mind thinks more clearly. Clarity even changes facial features. The micro-tensions left by anxiety are released, facial muscles relax, and the gaze gains a calmer depth. Therefore, the habit of drinking water regulates not only the metabolism, but also the morning rhythm of the soul. When a woman starts her day with clarity, she carries a more aesthetic, balanced, and confident energy throughout the rest of the day. 11. Take care of your neck and décolleté and see the difference. These areas reveal your age the most. One little-known fact is that the neck and décolletage are among the areas that reveal a woman's age the fastest, because the skin in these areas is thinner than the skin on the face, retains less oil, and is most affected by the sun, gravity, and poor posture over the years. No matter how well groomed the face is, neglecting the neck and décolleté disrupts the overall aesthetic harmony, creating a slight inconsistency in a woman's appearance. However, when these areas are regularly cared for, moisturized, and supported with the right movements, the signs of aging are greatly softened. The neck and décolletage are the map of elegance for a mature woman. When cared for, this map appears clearer, more refined, and younger. In fact, there is a scientific reason for the aging of this area. Collagen production declines much earlier, and elasticity loss occurs more rapidly. When thin skin loses its firmness, lines deepen, tone becomes uneven, and fine wrinkles, known as crepe, appear on the décolletage. Therefore, neck and décolletage care is not just an aesthetic choice, it is a biological necessity. Regularly using moisturizer, strengthening the skin barrier, increasing circulation with light massage, and applying sun protection creates a second youth effect in this area. When a woman takes care of her neck and décolletage, the youthful effect on her face instantly doubles because the structure that supports her entire appearance is complete. In addition to all this, the neck area is also directly related to posture. When the shoulders slump and the head bends forward, the lines on the neck quickly deepen. When the mind is stressed, the jaw muscles tighten and the neck stiffens. As this tension accumulates over the years, neck lines become more pronounced and the facial line appears more downward. However, regular neck massage, gentle stretching movements, and posture exercises not only improve appearance but also provide mental relaxation. Caring for the neck helps a woman regain her center. As the body opens up, the mind expands, and as the mind expands, the facial expression softens. This holistic effect is one of the fundamental building blocks of mature beauty. 12. Say kind words to yourself in the mirror. Confidence is beauty embodied. Saying kind words to yourself in the mirror may seem like a simple affirmation, but it is actually a powerful reprogramming action that reaches the deepest regions of the human mind. Because when a woman looks in the mirror, she doesn't just see her face. She also sees the weight of the years, the words she has heard in the past, the criticisms she has directed at herself, and even the resentments that have sunk into her subconscious. That's why the image in the mirror is often more psychological than physical. It is precisely at this point that the kind words you say to yourself add a new and brighter layer to this heavy image. When a woman says to the mirror, "You look more vibrant today. You are already strong. Your light is still here," her face doesn't just hear it, it begins to take shape accordingly, because the face is a summary of the soul. After all these very important points, I want to tell you that beauty is not just the result of creams applied to the skin or small touches from the outside. A woman rebuilds her light step by step with the care she shows her body, the order she establishes in her soul, and the conscious habits she repeats every day. These chosen behaviors, extending to her neck, her posture, her breath, her voice, her gratitude, her inner self, and her reflection in the mirror, create an elegant transformation that, while not stopping time, moves forward in harmony with it. A mature woman does not lose her beauty, she simply learns to manage it. And when she incorporates these 12 habits into her life, the radiance on the outside merges with the power within, and the serenity on her face speaks volumes about who she is without saying a word. Every step you take on this journey makes you younger, brighter, and more irresistible. If you found my video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care of yourself and see you in the next video. Remember, a woman is the person who has the power to change the world. Boldly forge your own path and savor every moment.